Well, hello there. Basically, I'm here at my mate's house. His name is Nathan, and he's from my band, actually. And what we're doing here is today talking about the shit gig experience what we've had. One of them actually was me. Well, not me, my fault, because I just kind of forced everyone to go and do it. And the other one was the drummer booked the wrong gig. What kind of happened on one of the gigs was we had, in a way, 2 gigs booked in on the same day, near enough in the same place. First gig was outside, so we played that and it all went actually pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it was fine, the first one.
Yeah, I think I would say maybe the crowd was maybe a bit wrong, because, you know, it was a bit old.
That's one way of putting it.
Basically, the way the whole thing was agreed, we do the gig outside and then there is another one back in a pub. So we were like, yeah, okay, no worries, because we kind of provided all the PA. So we played the first gig and then it came to packing down because all the bands are finished and then going back inside.
It was a shit show from the start. So basically, we head up to the pub. And it's pretty much deserted apart from a few like really old people, like, you know, in their late 70s or so. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but they were old. So I was a bit uneasy about the whole thing. I kept saying, we don't have to play this, there's no one else around. Eric was pretty drunk at this point and just kept being like, no, it's a gig, we've got to play, you know. They're expecting us to, but we're not even being paid, and there's no one here. And then, yeah, it just got worse from there. The landlady comes in and asks us to keep it down, which is, it's awkward before we even set up. Then when we did finally set up, my bass was broken, didn't survive the journey in the back of the van. We cleared out the pub, and like the old families.
That is so true, because like the kind of in my head, bear in mind, I was very sober. Yeah. Even though he said I was very drunk, I was actually very sober. Wink, wink.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
In my head, you know, because we agreed obviously to do 2 gigs in the same day. Well, it's the same gig, but it's 2 different locations, I suppose. But it came to that point, because obviously I provided the PA. We all kind of brought it inside the pub and we started to set it all up. And by the guys who kind of not hired us, but who asked us to play and provide everything, they were like, yo, you know, can you go and start doing the thing inside? I actually made that inquiry saying, well, there doesn't seem to be that many people here. But he was like, oh, well, no worries, everyone's going to come in and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, just to interject here, I should probably mention we were meant to be the starter band. There was meant to be 3 other bands playing that had a following and they'd bring people in. It was meant to warm the crowd. Obviously, we then dropped out. There was no crowd, a bunch of families in the pub.
Yeah, which is nothing wrong with that, but it played pretty heavy music, so obviously it's a bit of a weird atmosphere.
No, atmosphere is probably the right word. You know, the atmosphere was old and dusty and we're young and energetic.
Yeah, by the way, I'm from Latvia, so I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, you know, that was my mindset, because obviously I thought, alright, we go set up, make sure everything is fine, and then we start playing and people are going to come inside. Yeah, that didn't really go that way. And then, because obviously that was my mindset, say, yeah, we need to go and do this, and then to them they're like, because obviously Nathan didn't want to do it, because he realised what was going on. But to me it's like, yeah, we need to go and do it, it's going to be a sick gig, don't worry about it.
He's underselling it, basically. I was telling him we definitely should not play it. There's obviously every band's dropped out, there's a bunch of families in here. It's not a paid gig. There's no one from the metal crew that was here before, and the singer agreed with me that Eric's was extremely, what's the word, stubborn on the matter.
No, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, all it was, I was passionate about it.
They're being passionate. You just kept saying, no, we'll definitely come. We start playing.
Maybe that's my band of shit.
We're better now, I promise. So I know Eric's worst gig is different to mine. Shared trauma and all that. You want to tell them a bit about it?
The whole thing, the way it started was our ex-drummer, right, I booked this gig, I'm out, and you know, because before in the past, the gigs he kind of booked, they wasn't really sort of a metal thing. It kind of was, it kind of wasn't, but basically we were the wrong band in the wrong place every time.
Yeah, can I interject here quickly? You're underselling it, so every time we be like, oh, I've got this sick gig in this metal place, man, it's going to be awesome, and we get there and it'll just be like a place in the middle of nowhere with like no one there.
I was trying to be nice, but I guess that's not going that way. So anyways, he was like, yeah, we've got this gig, and I was like, alright, well, no worries. He kind of described, you know, what the gig was, And we were like, alright, cool, no worries, you know, there's going to be a few bands there and whatnot, and could be not all of them metal, but it is what it is. So we were like, yeah, well, fuck it, we'll do it. I picked up Nathan.
Say my name right.
I picked up Nathan on the same day. We went down and we walked into venue, which wasn't a venue, it was a pub. We were like, what's going on here? Because we walked in there and we can see kids running around, families having dinner, and not dinner but lunch. This guy came up to us and he was like, oh, what band are you from? And at that time we were called our band. He was like, all right, yeah, this is like the open mic thing. I was like, what do you mean open mic thing? It's like, yeah, it's on like open mic thing for up and coming artists or something, whatever.
Yeah, it was something that definitely wasn't a gig. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, it was just basically like a free for all. Anyone can just turn up and play, and we were like, okay, no worries. Bear in mind, we have brought like a full back line, full kit. You know, we were going to be loud. But then I was like, okay, no worries. So what time you're on? He was like, oh, you're like on 4:20, and you get 20-minute set. I was like, what do you mean 20 minutes set? He was like, oh, you get 20 minutes set now, and then you get 20 minutes set later. I was like, what do you mean? So we have to split our set? Because obviously I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Nathan was like trying to encourage me, should we just not do it? Should we just not do it?
Alright, no, you're gonna be wrong, man. I'm down for playing any gig, if it's a gig, like, you know, any gig. But that wasn't a gig, that was...
Yeah, that was something.
There was like one guy there with like poems and a guitar and a bunch of kids, and I was like, it is awkward.
I turned around, I convinced Nathan, like, let's just do it. And I just said, let's just get drunk before it. It doesn't even matter. We'll get drunk, it'll be easier to play through. And like, I think for me, the funniest part was when, before us, there was a kid, I think maybe he was 14, 15, playing an acoustic guitar, singing singer-songwriter song, solo act sort of thing, way out of tune, and everyone's like, yo, go for it, it's good what you're doing. And then the next band on was us, which is, well, a very opposite of that, let's put it in easiest way. To be fair though, it did went alright, but I think for me the worst part was when we started playing, and I think that was in the first 20 minute set what we had, and I literally saw a woman who was sitting, I think, you know, imagine that is the stage, and she was like right in the corner, and I could just see this and walking out, and I was like, oh my god, what are you even doing?
Yeah, it was definitely an awkward one.
That was, yeah, definitely not a great gig. But I think that's the whole point of, you know, when you start out as a band, and you just have to kind of go through these shitty little gigs, and you learn from the experience, you learn how to recognise, you know, when the shit gig is being offered and when it isn't. But the way I look at it, I always look from the positive point of view. It's a great story to tell.